Hello student, today I am discussing President Prime Minister relation. I have already completed environmental setting of Indian administration. Now I am starting Union Executive. In BPSC we require only to study Union Executive, whereas in UPSC one requires to study Union Executive, Parliament and Judiciary all. Wheresoever India is concerned, Indian administration is area-based administration, in which at apex level there is union government, at middle level or intermediate level there is state government, and at local level there is local administration or governance. We have colonial legacy and we adopted parliamentary democracy while having a lot of experience with British administrative system, but we were not fully convinced with British system in toto, because British system has constitutional monarchy and we were not interested to adopt it. We decided to adopt republican system, but on one hand, when we have decided to establish parliamentary democracy, and on the other we were also intended to adopt republican, that was having some sort of incompatibility. Then we examined several administrative systems and ultimately we adopted German pattern, getting point, in which there is parliamentary democracy, there is republic also. Republic means the head of state will be elected one, but not directly, but indirectly. Getting point? So India is both republic and parliamentary democracy. These two the combination of these two leads to three important questions. First question on president, second question on prime minister and their relative position, and ultimately the relation also. Getting point? In BPSC there has been question on prime minister, there has been separate question on president also, and there has been question on relation between prime minister and president also. If you notice the frequency of question, number of question on prime minister is more as compared to president. There was only one direct question on president. There were 4 questions on prime minister, in which 2 questions were also having relation between prime minister and the president. I will address this question because of 2 reasons. Because a first thing, that it will help you directly in BPSC if question comes, and second, that it will also help you in general study where there is chances of asking question. So today we have 2 topics. First I will discuss president, then I will discuss prime minister, then I will discuss their relation. Before going into detail, let me discuss one question which was asked in BPSC last time. In 47 BPSC, there was good question on president. The question was, the president of India is plebiscitary executive with vast power but no potentiality. Do you agree with this statement? Give reason in support of your answer. Question says that president of India has a lot of executive power. There is no denial at all. But it has no potentiality, means it doesn't have an inner power to exercise this authority or power. The question you have to point out, first of all, you give your consent whether you agree or not, and number 2, give reason also. So I will like to say one thing, that since India is republican one, that's why in India executive is supposed to exercise more power, supposed to exercise enormous power. But as we have parliamentary democracy also, so that is why the Republican president is subjected to controls, you can say regulation and other, you can say limitation. That's why this question is being asked. Then on the question I will write, if you start writing this answer, in first part we will write how President of India is powerful wheresoever executive is concerned, while introducing him as a head of Republican system. But when the question will come for parliamentary democracy, then we will put that in parliamentary democracy, president is just constitutional head. Real authority lies with Council of Ministers headed by Prime Minister. That's why the Prime Minister President is only having authority in name or formal sense only. In real sense, it is not. It is basically vested in Council of Minister, Cabinet or Prime Minister. Getting point? Now I will start. This topic comes under part 5 of Indian Constitution. In Indian Constitution, part 5 deals with union government, having, you can say, 5 chapters there. Getting point? First chapter is executive relation. Second topic is basically legislative relation. First is basically union executive. Second is parliament. Third is legislative power of president. Fourth is judiciary, and fifth is CAG. Getting point? So first, you can say, chapter of part 5 is basically union executive, having article from 52 to 78. It deals with union executive, which consisted of president, council of ministers headed by prime minister, etc. So under article 52, there is office of president. He is head of nation. Getting a point? Indian Constitution made provision for office of president. There is no difficulty at all. Then article 53 is very important. It says the executive power of union is vested in him, which he exercises himself or with the aid and advice of his subordinate as per requirement of constitution. Getting a point? So that is second thing. Article 54 deals with election of president. Here president is having election on the basis of, you can say, single proportional representation of single transferable vote. Getting point? You can say article 55 deals with manner of election. There is electoral college consisted of elected member of both houses of parliament and elected member of state legislature, all state legislature including Pondicherry and Delhi. Getting point? And article 56 deals with terms of president, that it is 5 years, but he can give his resignation to vice president even before its term, and he can be removed also on the charge of violation of constitution through impeachment. Article 57 deals with eligibility of re-election. Yes, president can be re-elected wheresoever law is concerned, but there is convention in India that one person can be appointed president only once. This is a convention except Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Then Article 58 deals with qualification of president, of being president, that he should be a citizen of India, he should have 35 years plus age. You can say he should have qualification of being Lok Sabha member, and he should qualify all the condition made by parliament in this regard. Then article 59 deals with, you can say, service condition, that neither he should be member of parliament or legislature, nor he should hold any office of profit. His service condition will be determined by parliament, which will not be changed in his disadvantage after his appointment. and these are charged upon Consolidated Fund of India. So no, you can say cut motion can be introduced against it. These things are mentioned. Getting a point? Then Article 60 deals with oath that Chief Justice of India gives him oath of preserving, protecting, and defending Constitution. Getting point? Article 61 deals with impeachment. On the charges of violation of Constitution, he can be impeached before completion of his tenure. Rest articles are related to Vice President or something like. So these are important articles related to President wheresoever election and assumption of his assumption in office is concerned. But Constitution has given him enormous power, which can be discussed under several heads. So we have pointed out executive function, power and function, legislative power and function, judicial power and function, financial power and function. These things we can point out here. Wheresoever executive functions, executive power and functions are concerned, Article 53 is very important here, that executive power of union is vested in him. Means what? All executive functions takes place in the name of President. President has power to make law for works taking place in his name, as well convenient transaction of work allocation and work transaction of council of minister. Getting point? President appoints, you can say, Prime Minister on the recommendation of Prime Minister. He appoints other minister. He, you can say, appoints constitutional position like UPSC chairman, member, finance committee chairman, member, then CAG, then governor of state, then you can say chief information commissioner, etc. Several constitutional appointments or statutory appointments are done by President. There is no confusion. President has, you can say, executive control over union territory affairs. President also has executive control over scheduled area and tribal area. Getting point? And President has power to seek information from Prime Minister with regard to executive and administrative matter of Union of Government of India. Getting point? So these are executive functions related to President. Getting point? Now we will discuss legislative function. Under Article 79, there is provision of Constitution, which is there is provision of Parliament, which is consisted of President, Rajya Sabha, and Lok Sabha. President is integral part of, you can say, legislature or Parliament. He has power to, you can say, call for session, prorogation, and dissolution of Lok Sabha also. He can address newly constituted Lok Sabha and first session of Parliament every year. He can nominate 2 members from Anglo-Indian community in Lok Sabha, and 12 members in Rajya Sabha from different walk of society like art, culture, science, etc., social work, etc. He can appoint senior most member to preside the functioning of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha in case there is vacancy of chairman and deputy chairman, or a speaker or deputy speaker. Getting point? He disposes all matter related to election of MP with the consultation of Election Commission. Getting point? He has, you can say, he has veto power. No bill can become act unless he gives his assent. Getting point? At the time he can exercise 3 types of veto. First, pocket veto. Second, suspensive veto, and third, absolute veto. What is pocket veto? Since there is no time demarcating for giving his approval, so he can sit over the proposal sent by legislature and exercise pocket veto. Since there is no time and for he can delay giving his approval for indefinite period, that is called pocket veto, which was once practiced by Jagani Jail Singh on the Indian Postal Bill. Getting a point? Wherever suspensive veto is concerned, President can return the bill for reconsideration to Parliament, but if the bill is again presented, he has to give his consent or approval. And what is absolute veto? That is, he can say no to any bill, particularly in state legislature, or you can say private bill. Getting point? So here he can exercise absolute veto. When Parliament is not in session, he can make law through ordinance under Article 123. He also presents the report of UPSC, CAG before both houses of Parliament. Getting why? So these things are legislative function or power and function. That is very important one. Now we'll have to discuss judicial function, power and function. President is basically not part of judiciary, but he has very important role in judiciary matter also. He appoints chief justice and judges of High Court, Supreme Court and High Court. Getting point? He appoints, you can say, the chairperson and member of administrative tribunal. Then he can consult Supreme Court for advice. Getting point? And the advice given by Supreme Court is not binding on him. He has power to grant pardon for in matters which lies under Union Executive or matter related to, you can say, court martial, or you can say death sentence. Here he can either give pardon to punishment, or he can replace one punishment by some simple punishment, or he can replace one placement given by law by some other simpler punishment, or he can give order to suspend execution of punishment, or you can say he can reduce the time period while not changing its nature. So these are certain functions taking place during judicial power when under Article 72, when he has power to grant pardons in case of judicial matter or punishment. Then wheresoever financial function is concerned, President under Article 112, it is responsibility of President to prepare budget and present before both houses of Parliament, but in practice it is done by Ministry of Finance. No demand for grant can be introduced without his approval. No money bill or finance bill can be introduced without his approval. During financial emergency, he has enormous power with regard to financial matter, and you can say he has power to constitute Finance Commission on interval of 5 years to review relation between center and state wheresoever finance matter is concerned. Now, military function. President is head of defense forces. He appoints CDS. You can say Chief Command of Defense. Chief Defense of Staff. Recently, it was constituted a new post. He appoints 3 heads of army. He has power to declare war and power to declare the conclusion of war, subject to approval of Parliament. Get a point? Now, diplomatic function. President appoints Indian ambassador to foreign countries. He also receives credential of other ambassador to India. He represents India on international forum. All treaty and agreements takes place in the name of President. Then emergency function. Under Article 52 to under Article 360, President has emergency power. He can declare, or he has power to declare three types of emergency. National emergency under Article 352 in case of war, external aggression and armed rebellion. Getting point, he can impose national emergency on entire country or any part of country. He can also suspend fundamental right during national emergency. Till now, three times national emergency were imposed. Under Article 356, he can impose constitutional emergency, that is called President rule also. When the functioning of a state is not taking place in accordance with Constitution, then President has power to declare constitutional emergency in a state, and he can take over entire legislative and executive function of the state in its own hands. So this is called state emergency. Now under Article 360, if there is threat to stability and credibility of financial position of country, then President can declare financial emergency. Till now it is no imposed any time. It is not imposed at all. But in recent, one PIL was filed in Supreme Court while saying that since India is having financial crunch due to corona epidemic, so there should be national financial emergency. But Supreme Court has no power at all here. It is President's prerogative. So since the government has not responded it, so it was not imposed. But during the financial emergency, President acquires a lot of financial power. He can give direction to state wherever finance matter is concerned. He can also direct to reduce salaries of officials, and he can also reserve financial bill of state for his own consideration. So these are financial emergency. In Indian Constitution, President has not been given any constitutional, you can say, discretion. He has some situational discretion, particularly when no party gets majority, he appoints Prime Minister on the basis of his discretion. When Prime Minister loses his majority and he is not resigning, then on his discretion he can dismiss or he can remove him. When Council of Ministers is not recommending Council of Ministers while having losing majority, under this situation, then President can dissolve Lok Sabha also. So these are some situational discretion President enjoys. In general, after discussing this thing, we come to know that in Indian Constitution, President enjoys a lot of power. And there is no denial at all. But whether it is real in reality also is exercising power? No. Since India is parliamentary democracy, that's why President is just constitutional head. Actual power lies with the political executive, that is Council of Ministers headed by Prime Minister. So this is the thing we find. But if you see the actual position since independence, then you will come to know that the actual status of President changes from time to time. Getting point? If you start from President Narendra Prasad to Ramnath Kovind, present President, you will come to know that you will find that status, or you can say influence of President in Indian politics has not been even. It has been, you can say, throughout changing depending on situation as well as the personality of President also. Getting point? So, if you notice, the first President of India, Dr. Narendra Prasad, when India got independence, that time both have equal contribution and national freedom, where Pandit Nehru, Prime Minister, and Rajendra Prasad is concerned, and both had vision for formation of New India. But at that time, due to certain reason, we found there was some sort of disagreement between President and Prime Minister, particularly on Zamindari, on abolition issue, then Hindu Code Bill, then you can say land reform issue, then inauguration of Somnath Temple, then cremation of Sardar Patel. There were some occasions when we found there was difference of opinion between these two. When Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan became president, that time Pandit Nehru was having a health problem. Getting point? And due to health problem, ball shifted to president. That time it was found that president started consulting individual minister and seeking report from him. So that time the situation was reverted. You know, when Indira Gandhi became Prime Minister, throughout her period, ball was lying in the Prime Minister's court. And President were just to act on her advice, bearing some exception that Neelam Sanjeev Reddy and some other also had some little bit confusion, but in general you find the ball was in court of Prime Minister. The President-Prime Minister relation particularly became tense, particularly when Rajiv Gandhi and Gyani Jail Singh issue came. Rajiv Gandhi Prime Minister and Gyani Jail Singh President. That time the issue became the most severe one. As President exercised his pocket veto on Indian Postal Bill, that became some sort of cause of resentment, and due to which, the tension between President and Prime Minister rose to its highest level. Even the courtesy call and courtesy meeting was suspended during this period, and both started hatching conspiracy against each other. Both started using extra parliamentary languages against each other. So that was not fair situation that time. Got your point? If you notice, when Atal Bihari Vajpayee was Prime Minister and K.R. Narayan was President, that time also that was some sort of tension we found, particularly on imposition of Bihar, state emergency in Bihar, then issue of Constitution Review Commission, then reservation in judiciary. There were certain issues when we find difference of opinion. Get your point? When Manmohan Singh was Prime Minister and Abul Kalam Azad was President, APJ was President, that time also there was issue on particularly bill on office of profit. There was and you can say state emergency in some state, particularly I don't remember, perhaps in Bihar also. So there was some issue. And last, President Narendra Modi and Ramnath Kovind, Pranab Mukherjee. Before Ramnath Kovind, there was President Pranab Mukherjee. That time, you can say it was golden period of relation between President and Prime Minister. Both were very assertive, both were very effective one. And that time, India witnessed a very healthy and very strong relation between President and Prime Minister. Presently also we can say the relation between President and Prime Minister is very good and very effective one, and both working on having same tune and understanding, so there is no difficulty at all. Now I will like to discuss Prime Minister, then I will discuss again President Prime Minister relation. Under Article 74 to 78, there is provision related to Council of Ministers. Under Article 74, there is provision of Council of Ministers to aid and advise Prime Minister. head and advise president. Council of Ministers is headed by Prime Minister. Getting point. Article 75 deals with appointment of Council of Ministers and its service condition. You know, Prime Minister is appointed by President, and on the advice of Prime Minister, President appoints other ministers. Getting point. The minister continue office till the pleasure of President. Getting point. So 91st, you can say, Constitutional Amendment Act made clear provision that the strength of Council of Ministers should not exceed 15% of total strength of Lok Sabha, and it was also one more provision that if some member of parliament would disqualify on this Anti-Defection Act, then he will also disqualify as minister. Getting point. The salary and allowances of ministers are determined by Parliament. The President gives the oath to ministers, and Council of Ministers are collectively responsible to Lok Sabha in particular and Parliament in general. Getting point. So these are some provisions which related to Council of Ministers. Getting point. Now, as I told, Prime Minister is very important position in India as democracy. In parliamentary democracy, President is head of executive and Prime Minister is de facto head of Prime Minister. If you notice the question, there are two types of questions asked in BPSC. Both questions are having different tune. First question asked in, you can say, 60 and 62nd BPSC. Question is that critically analyze the position, power and role of Prime Minister in Indian administrative system. Can he become a dictator? This question was asked in BPSC 60-68. Can Prime Minister become dictator? This question was asked. And once there was more question asked in previous also. Let me discuss the question. What was the question? Let me tell you. The question was that the office of Prime Minister becomes what the holder chooses to make it. Examine the role of Prime Minister of India in the light of this statement. This question gives enormous power to Prime Minister. This question that the office of Prime Minister becomes what the holder chooses to make it. That the temperament of personality influences the office of Prime Minister according to the question. And in 62nd question, whether Prime Minister can become dictator, so we have to answer both the question. Wheresoever status of Prime Minister is concerned, it is beyond, you can say, limits of word. In Indian system, inherited system from British one, and in British literature, there has been, you can say, several statements with regard to a specific position of its Prime Minister, and which can be applied for Indian Prime Minister also. Like I must tell you here, Herbert Morrison says, as the head of government, Prime Minister is primus among equals, but today it is far too modest in appreciation of Prime Minister's position. Means what the statement said, in theory we find Prime Minister is first among primus among equals, but in reality it is more than that one. Jennings definition very important one. Jennings says that Prime Minister is rather a sun around which planets revolve. He is the keystone of constitution. All roads in the constitution leads to Prime Minister. That is very good statement. What he says, that Prime Minister is like sun, getting point, around which entire planets rotate, getting point. And he says also he is the cornerstone of constitution, and all ways to constitution goes to Prime Minister. That is very important one. Then you can say Griev's statement equally good, that Prime Minister government is the master of the country. Government is the master of country, and the prime minister is the master of the government. That is why you can say prime minister is government of government of country. That is very important one. That is very important one. Master of country. That is headmaster, you can say, to a certain extent. Then you can say Monroe said that prime minister is captain of the ship of the state. So this statement gives one very right statement given by our constitution maker Ambedkar, that is very praiseworthy here. Ambedkar says, if any functionary under our constitution is to be compared with American president, then he is prime minister and not the president of the union. Means prime minister can be compared with the president of America in that regard. So you can understand prime minister assumes enormous significance position in Indian administrative system. So if you address the question asked in 60-68 BPSC, what is position of prime minister, then you can point out these things. That he is like planet, he is like first among equals, and in reality is more than that one. He is basically like captain of state like state. Then you can say he is like sun around which entire planets revolve. He is the cornerstone of Indian constitution. You can point out these things, amply explain the position of prime minister in Indian political system. What is the power and function of prime minister? Power and role. You can say power, function and role are interrelated things, but sometimes they are separately asked also. But no function can take place unless you have power. It is the power which facilitates you to perform certain function. You cast vote because you have power to cast vote. Get your point? So that is very important point. So power, function, and what is role? Role is very complicated thing. Role is something sociological concept which having some functional definition. Like president is, head of nation. Get your point? President is constitutional head of union executive. President is integral part of parliament. So these are certain role president assumes, and under this role he performs certain functions. So that is very important point. So wherever role and power are concerned, you can write separately, you can write jointly. If you write separately, then there may be chances of overlapping. So this is thing, and you may get some confusion also. Rather, it would be better if you combine this thing and write accordingly. You can write this way. In Indian administrative system, prime minister assumes, vast power and performs number of roles. Getting point? These roles and power can be discussed under following heads. Okay? Then you will write first, then role and power of prime minister with regard to council of minister. Power and role of prime minister with regard to president is in this way you can write. So let us start. I will first discuss here I try to just draw a point with showing what is exact position of prime minister. He has influence over entire system. No system is exception. That's why in this I have pointed out 4 things: that president, council of minister, parliament, and people. But you can fill up all these things. So they are very important, like UPSC, like Supreme Court, then you can say High Court, then you can say Parliament, Cabinet, then you can Cabinet Committee, then you can say Group of Ministers. You can put everything, everywhere Prime Minister has significance. If you see day-to-day development, you find there is no area in which Prime Minister is not influencing. Every area is subjected to influence of Prime Minister. That's why it is being said that it is up to him to give shape to the position. That is very important one. So now I will discuss power and function, power and role of Prime Minister with regard to Council of Minister. Then you can say Prime Minister is basically cornerstone of Council of Minister. With his appointment, formation of Council of Ministers starts. On his recommendation, President appoints other ministers. The minister continue in office till his having agreement with Prime Minister. In case of disagreement or dissatisfaction, either Prime Minister can say to him to resign or he can recommend President to drop him. So this is the thing. Then he allocates work, he gives ministry to different member of Council of Ministers, he coordinates their activity, he gives leadership also, and in last he can give resignation and dissolves Council of Minister. So you can say Council of Minister, President, Prime Minister has significant role in formation, continuation and dissolution of Council of Minister. Get your point? Now with regard to President, the role, power and function of power and role of Prime Minister with regard to President. You know that is very important point. In Indian Constitution, Prime Minister acts as a link between Council of Minister and President. Getting point, her role as a link between Council of Minister and you can say President. Then he advises President on appointment of all important appointment taking place at union level. So here it's a sort of role of advisor also. Then he gives information related to administration and legislative matters pertaining to Government of India. If President seeks more information, he requires to give for that also. And if President requires that a matter which is decided by Minister but not discussed on Council of Minister, then he can present it before Council of Minister with the order of President also, with the advice of President also. So Prime Minister has a very significant role wheresoever President is concerned. As a, you can say, here is a role of link between these two, as an advisor, then you can say as a sub-aid and supportive role here. Now you have with Parliament, with regard to Parliament, the role and function, role of power of Prime Minister with regard to Parliament. You know, President, Prime Minister is leader of Lok Sabha, ruling party in Lok Sabha. Getting point, he is very popular leader. He participates in parliamentary proceedings. He gets ensure whether the government will get duly enacted by Parliament. Getting point, he can declare or announce government policy on the floor of Parliament. Getting point, he also gets ensure that proper functioning of Parliament should take place. He advises President to, while giving summon, prorogation and dissolution of Lok Sabha. So that is very important point wheresoever Parliament is concerned. Now, with regard to personal administration, that is very important point. Role, power and function of Prime Minister with regard to civil services, that is important point. Civil services, or you can say personal administration. You know, Prime Minister is political head of civil services in India. Getting point? There is one ministry called Ministry of Personnel, work under Prime Minister's leadership. This is the main personal agency, central personal agency, which formulates personal policy, which controls IS and Indian Secretarial Service employee. It has overall supervision of entire personnel working in India. Prime Minister leads them, keeps their morale and motivation high, protects them from political abuses, and gives some sort of political leadership to them. Getting point? So this is with regard to civil services. Wheresoever financial system is concerned, Prime Minister has no direct role, but he is keenly involved in it. Presently, if you notice, even budget is prepared by Finance Minister and presented to, presented to Parliament by Finance Minister. The presence and you can say consent of Prime Minister can be only potently felt. He gives direction to Ministry of Finance to prepare budget in accordance with policy of government. he ensures collection or mobilization of resources. Then he also takes government initiative, particularly GST, or you can say measures to control government deficit under control. So government to bring several fiscal reform like merger of banking, then you can say fiscal policy and monetary policy to keep economy under control. So here behind curtain, Prime Minister has significant role in financial matter also. Wheresoever in diplomacy is concerned, you find everywhere presently, particularly in present perspective, you find Prime Minister has very significant role in foreign affairs. Getting point, he maintains very good relation with all important nation of world and maintains its own presence also. Getting point. So here also Prime Minister, wheresoever diplomacy is concerned, requires to play a very significant role, because in present situation the position of Prime Minister is also determined by his foreign image. So that is very important one in present LPG era. Now you have emergency. Now in emergency, particularly during disaster, Prime Minister has very significant role also. Now one new branch emerged, that is called disaster management, and Prime Minister is head of National Authority on Disaster Management. Getting point? He supervises disaster relief operation during disasters. He stands by people during crisis. He appeals for cooperation from different sources. He generates fund and try to provide fund and support to contingency situations. Presently Prime Minister play very significant role wheresoever corona pandemic is concerned, and there is one Prime Minister Care, PM Cares Fund is also created, so playing very significant role. So what I mean to say, presently disaster management become very important role of Prime Minister. Now we say that whenever you can say public, in general public is concerned, public, with regard to public, Prime Minister is popular leader of nations. The public relation of Prime Minister has got redefinition in present setup. Man Ki Baat and several occasions through which Prime Minister directly interact with people, and anyone can approach Prime Minister and give his suggestions. Prime Minister also invites valuable suggestions, advices from people. So what I mean to say, Prime Minister has very important role and function with regard to present situation, public in general also. So with regard to public, Prime Minister is popular leader. Prime Minister stands by him in all odd and even situations. Then Prime Minister communicates him with several issues from time to time. Then you can say Prime Minister also meets him whenever situation requires. So this type of situation we find in Indian practice. So what I mean to say, that Prime Minister role and functions can be discussed under several heads, like Prime Minister role and function with regard to Council of Ministers, then with regard to President, then Parliament, then civil services, then financial system, then diplomacy, then you can say foreign affairs, then you can say disaster management, and last and with public. So Prime Minister has very significant position in Indian political system. Now the question is that what are the determinants which influence Prime Minister position? So Prime Minister position is getting influenced by several factors, like his relation with Prime Minister President, then his position in Council of Ministers, his party position in parliament, then you can say his public image, his foreign image, his administrative skill. So several things which make prime minister an effective and you can assertive one. Getting point? That's why this question was asked that office of prime minister takes the form what he chooses to make it, because this post has so much influence and significance, it has so much potentiality that the person who is sitting on position can give the say what he wishes to give. Suppose if someone is dictator and becomes dictator, then office of prime minister will become dictator. When someone very dull and you can say weak and becomes prime minister, then office of prime minister will be weak and dull also. When someone is very assertive, then office of prime minister will become assertive. So depending the same position, since independence, if you notice the trend of PM office from time to time, you may find there is very, you can say, unusual ups and downs in these offices. Particularly in the present one, the office of prime minister particularly enjoyed enormous significance and influence. That's why sometimes it is being asked whether the office of prime minister can become dictator also. So this is to be required to keep in mind that no, in Indian situation, no one has power to become dictator, because here there is check and balance. So prime minister is having definitely enormous power and influence, but it is not relative one, absolute one. It is relative and subject to several limitation and control. Like there can be judicial control, there can be public control, there can be parliamentary control. Getting a point? President also has power to seek report from him. So you can find that in Indian situation, Prime Minister definitely enjoys power. When he has clear-cut majority in parliament, he can become some sort of more assertive, more powerful, but you cannot say that he can be despotic. And if someone tries to become, we have experienced that last time when Congress, particularly during Indira period, that Congress, Indira Gandhi government imposed a national emergency unnecessarily, then what outcome came, everyone knows. So there is no denial that if under this situation prime minister is not supposed to act as dictator, he has definitely enormous power and influence. So now I will discuss, you can say, relation between prime minister and president. President and prime minister relation is one of the most important relation or most important issue of Indian administration. This relation at apex level not sets a healthy trend and convention, but also influence public policy, quality of governance, development phenomena to large extent. If there is poor relation, tense relation, conflicting relation, then it gives very poor, wrong signal to entire nation. So this is first thing, that there should be effective and good relation. Now, what the legal law say in Indian Constitution, Article 53, Article 74, then Article 75, Article 78, 42nd Amendment and 44th Amendment are important legal, you can say, framework which define president-prime minister relation, and which says that president is basically constitutional head, and in general he has to act on advice of Council of Ministers. But wheresoever legal behavioral dimension is concerned, it has been throughout changing. In the beginning, there was no such a binding. That's why in beginning, first president Rajendra Prasad, then parliamentarian K.M. Munshi, one British scholar Gladhill, were having opinion that under constitution there is no provision that the president is bound to act on advice of Council of Ministers. Even President Rajendra Prasad said himself that under constitution there is nowhere mentioned that President is bound to act on advice of Council of Ministers. Gladhill says, under Constitution, without encroaching upon, President can become dictator also. So this type of feelings were taking place. But the such type of sentiments were. But in course of time, particularly in 1976 with 42nd Amendment, the situation was made that President is to act on advice of Council of Ministers. 44th Amendment gave some sort of relaxation and it gave him opportunity to return a proposal for reconsideration, but afterward President has no power to give or act in accordance with Council of Ministers. So in general, in principle, Council of Ministers is real authority and Prime Minister President is to act on his advice. Getting point? This is in general established fact. But the office of President has been also changing from time to time. As first Prime President of India, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, then you can say Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan, then you can say K.R. Narayanan, then you can say Pranab Mukherjee, then you can say Neelam Sanjeev Reddy, were some important person who assumed President office, and they proved that the office of President is not mere rubber stamp. It has more than this titular head. It can prove this office as more important as protecting Constitution, upholding rule of law, and as having role of guardianship type supervision to government. So in present you can say the relation between President and Prime Minister has two dimensions, legal dimension and behavioral dimension. The legal dimension is some sort of defined word, but wheresoever behavioral dimension is, it is very fluid and flexible one, which depends on personal chemistry between President and Prime Minister, which we find last time when Prime Minister Modi and Pranab Mukherjee had very good chemistry, and present also we find the same type of situation taking place. So you can say the harmonious relation, team relation can be useful. You can say can be proved like a boon for good public policy, effective governance, and overall development of nation. So there should be, both should work in accordance with law, both should take care of public interest on above, and both have to work while keeping overall interest of nation. So this thing, both are like team, and upon which you can say the gamut of governance, the prosperity and overall well-being of nation depends. So this is the thing. So you require to answer 2-3 things today. First, Prime Minister's position, then President position, and then relation between these three. I have given some details about these three dimensions, which can be little bit useful to you. You go through some book also. Try to write 3 questions and send to me. If you have any sort of difficulty, you can ask me. Okay, thanks, enjoy.